Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood as we start off a brand new month here in the month of August 2025, and the Retro Blood is going to be exploring all types of different storytelling done by one of the greatest Italian horror directors of all time, Lucio Fulci, here month on the Retro Blood. And we're starting it off with some wild mind control, astroplaning revenge story, because if you all like horny doctors who only want schoolgirls, if you all like schoolgirl revenge stories like Carrie and a little bit of Suspiria, kind of remind me of too. If you all like Charles Xavier mind girl taking over people's brains and having her do her bidding of evil, if you all like her cracked out mom who has red eyes and walks around and does things, and if you all like girl drama, then this is the review for you, because we're talking about Fulci's Aenigma.
Yeah. I think that's how you say it. I really don't know. I don't know how to say that word.
It's supposed to be like a Aenigma, you know what I mean? Like
is it?
Yeah, kind of like from, you know, it's supposed to be spelled like that. It just has an A on it instead of an E. Okay? And it's like Aenigma. It's supposed to mean like you can't explain this stuff, I guess. Or it can be unexplained. I'll read the definition here in a little bit. But everybody, J.H. Alison, James Kline. All right, we're back for a brand new month here, talking Fulci. All right, talking some Fulci style movies. Alison, how was your stay at the Mary's School of Learning? All right,
I'm not sure yet. It felt like the fakest American school I've ever seen. Probably because none of it was shot in America. I don't know what you talking about, brother.
I don't know what you talking about, brother. You telling me in Boston there ain't no Fred, the yoga instructor, trying to get himself some hot young puss? Is that what you're trying to tell me there, Alison?
I just think it's funny that everything on the walls of the school was like the most cliched American stuff ever. Like there's a picture of Tom Cruise from Top Gun and Snoopy, and everything said library for some reason. I couldn't figure out why. Like every room they were in had a poster that said library on it.
Well, I did like
it was really weird.
I did like the American posters around there. Like we got a run in from Rocky. We got a run in from Tom Cruise. I mean, come on.
And
now. Yoda on there. David Bowie was on there too. So that's
David
good
Bowie,
stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, so I know you said you're a little confused by this movie. You want me to explain it to you, and I guess there was some like confusing stuff, but I think I got the gist of it. You know what I mean? It's basically like a revenge story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got that part of it.
Yeah, and
I just can't figure out like the scene at the end of it, which we'll get there. But the scene at the end of it where she's like looking through like, or it's like they open up and look through the door, and then there's the dead body in the bed, and then they'll turn around and look through a window. And there's a dead body in the bed, and it just happens over and over and over and over and over again. I'm like, holy crap! Okay, it just got really trippy near the end there.
Well, you know, that's how them Italian directors like it, brother. Like the trippy stuff on here. But I wouldn't say like, you know, we'll get all into it and stuff about the making of Aenigma, and we'll talk about, you know, some stuff from the pro wrestling and the metal music here in a second. But I would say like this is like my favorite Fulci film that we've done.
No.
This one to me. And, you know, we'll talk about it here soon. It kind of really reminded me of, like, a Carrie, you know what I mean, style film.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, just a very, like, woman getting her, you know, she was hurt at the beginning of the film, and she basically got her life stolen by these evil mean girls. And now she was back for revenge by astroplaning. Is that how you say that? Or, like, mind controlling, I guess it would be better. Mm-hmm. Over this poor innocent Ava girl, which we really didn't figure out like what her background was, because she's been mind controlled during the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, so Carrie was like a huge influence on this movie. Like he wanted to make a movie that was kind of like Carrie.
Yeah.
Because he thought that was like, what he said was that was a good recent movie, but Carrie was like 10 years old when this movie came out already. But still, maybe Fulci doesn't go to the movies a lot.
There you go, man. But like every retro blood, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie and how it's made and everything, so it's gonna be pretty fun. But like every retro blood, let's get it going on of what was going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music around the release date.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which was,
if
I got my notes correct, August 15th, 1988 in Italy. That's when the movie was released to the audience.
Yeah, that's what I used.
And like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I'd feel about if I watched this movie like in the theaters and everything. Like, it wasn't bad. It was kind of trippy, but
it wasn't bad.
I thought like the story. I don't know. I just compared to some of the other films that we've done through him. New York Ripper. Zombie and stuff. All the Gates of Hell trilogy. I thought those were way more exciting than this movie was. So,
yeah, and it was written with his co-writer from the Gates of Hell trilogy too.
Yes.
So this movie is like definitely not as good as those three.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
But it's not bad. It's just once you've seen the Gates of Hell trilogy, it's kind of hard to top that, really, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I got what he was going for, and we'll explain all that to you. But what we're doing right now in the world of pro wrestling, though, when we're getting excited by seeing this movie, Aenigma, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Is we have the build to the first ever WWF SummerSlam. Can you believe that?
Right.
Pretty crazy, man.
Is this? Yeah, this is not the one that's in England, though, right?
No, this is the first ever one. All right, this one happened. This one happened in Madison Square Garden. Okay, SummerSlam, August 29th, 1988, New York City, Madison Square Garden. This is the one that was headlined by Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage versus Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase.
Oh, wow, okay.
All right. So that happened on August 29th, but this movie, when it actually got released, we actually had a WWF house show that was pretty much getting you ready for the big matches coming to SummerSlam. Like, wrestling would do. All right. So this one had a couple pretty good matches on here. The ones I want to talk about is basically we're building up Jake Roberts and Rick Rude, because we have a match between Jake Roberts and Rick Rude. Well, Jake Roberts pinned Rick Rude. All right. By the way, sorry, I didn't recommend it. I didn't say this, but the WWF house show was taking place in Omaha. And at Civic Auditorium. Okay. And it drew about 5,000 fans. So pretty good. So it's total attendance 5,248 in attendance. We would see Kurt Hennig on this show subbing for the Iron Sheik, and he pinned Sam Houston. All right, so that's pretty interesting. We had Brutus Beefcake pin Hercules. God, imagine that match. All right.
That would have been strange.
Yeah.
Like, you have your body guy, and then you have Brutus, who's kind of a body guy too, but a little bit more versatile than a regular body guy.
Yeah. So we had the. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say I'm kind of interested in that Sam Houston match though. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. So I believe this might be. I mean, Kurt Hennig. I mean, he had to be doing the Mr. Perfect character by this time. Let me see if I can look that up, because this is 1988. All right, let me see. Kurt Hennig. Okay. So he said they were saying he made his debut in the WWF in 1988 as Mr. Perfect, but it doesn't tell me exactly when. All right, let's see. So it was in 1988.
Right. Well, surely it would have been by August, because that was near the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Toward the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not telling me exactly when on here on his profile. Even though it did give me some trivia, which I just read this and I had no idea. Apparently, Kurt Hennig or Mr. Perfect used to use the main title theme from Exodus 1960 has his entrance music.
That's weird.
Yeah. I was like, okay, very interesting.
I'm sure that was exciting.
Yeah, so this thing over here, when he was brought into the WWE in 1988, Vince McMahon initially had trouble coming up with the appropriate gimmick for Kurt Hennig. Vince had asked him if there was any sports activities that he was skilled in, and Kurt responded by saying that he was very good at every sport that he played. All right?
Okay.
This gave Vince the idea for a wrestler named Mr. Perfect who believed that he was perfect in everything that he did. So that's how the gimmick came up. All right?
Cool.
So, but yeah, it had to be about this time, even though on my list it says he would wrestle as Kurt Hennig. But I think he did like Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect sometimes too. So, and then the main event on this house show, we have one Andre the Giant, who will be in our main event on SummerSlam coming up here soon, facing off against Jim Duggan. All right.
That would have been fine for a main event.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had to see Andre. I guess that was pretty cool at your house show.
Yeah. So that's about what we got going on for wrestling. Not too much going on. We're basically just building up to the SummerSlam. We're basically going by. We're flying into the Italians, all right, to the Italies, watching some Aenigma, all right.
Yeah.
And we're flying back to Omaha, watching some wrestling, getting ready for SummerSlam on here. Not too bad, I would say. Not too bad. So.
Sure. So after that, we have to fly back to England.
Yes.
Talk about heavy metal.
We're just all around the globe with this one, brother.
So yeah, so we're on the planes a lot this week. But so 5 days after this movie came out on August the 20th was we've talked about this show before, I believe, but not in the context that I'm about to talk about it.
Yeah.
So in 1988, August 20th, 1988 was the Donington Music Festival in Leicestershire, England. So it was like, I mean, it's still huge now that they've brought it back, but at the time it was the biggest metal one of the biggest metal festivals in the world. This is the show that was headlined by Iron Maiden, and I think we've talked about that before. They were, near the end of their Seventh Son tour, and they had played that show. But what I wanted to talk about was Guns N' Roses also played that day, and they were second on the bill. So they were a fairly new band. Like, this is, I believe, the first time they'd ever played in England. And they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know really how popular they were, which is kind of weird that back then you wouldn't really know how popular you were into another country until you got there.
Yeah. Very interesting.
But this was the show where those two kids got killed while they played. So there was 107,000 people there. And for an opening act, they were second on the bill. So for an opening act, I think the security just didn't expect them to be as popular as they were. So when they started playing, they opened with It's So Easy. And when they started, there was a huge crowd surge. And I don't know if you're familiar with what a crowd surge is, because they don't really happen as much anymore. I think they do in like really, really big festivals in other countries. But I haven't experienced one in a long time. But back then, when you would go to a show that had a general admission seating area, like just a big open field like this was, like the people in the back would like kind of basically try to push up front. So they would just like move forward, and then it would move the people in front of them, and then move the people in front of them. And it was like a wave, like a water wave that would just move to the front of the stage. And then when it got to the front of the stage, they would, the people at the front would push back. So, and then it would go back the other way. But when it went back the other way, people tended to fall down. So that's what happened here. Like people, they surged to the front of the stage, and then then the people at the front pushed everybody back. But they were like like a bunch of kids, like right around, the second, third, fourth, fifth row, right in that area that fell when it surged back. And then when it surged in front of them again, they were kind of trampled.
Damn.
Two of them died. They were like, I think they said they were like 30 people that were down and were trampled, but two of them died. And this was while Guns N' Roses was playing. And you can watch part of the show on YouTube. There's highlights. There's like a 20-minute highlight of their set. And you can tell, like, they keep stopping. And they didn't know anybody had died until they got back to the United States the next day. But but you can tell, like, they keep stopping the show. And Axl keeps telling people to back up. And, Izzy Stradlin's like looking down in the crowd. You could tell like that they know something's wrong, but they didn't realize anybody had died. But it's also kind of famous too because the Paradise City video was shot that day. It was shot some of the footage from Paradise City video is them playing that at that show. But only the parts at the end of it. So the Paradise City video, I don't know if you probably haven't seen it in a while, but it shows them doing a sound check in a big stadium, like a football stadium. But then at the end of the song, when it goes into black and white and the song gets faster, that part is in Donington. But even during that, like certain shots, you can see them looking down in the crowd because you can tell that they know that something's not right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that was kind of a famous day in metal history. It was like it wasn't a riot really, but like the day that those kids got trampled during the Guns N' Roses set at Donington.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the kind of our metal history for today, I guess.
It's pretty crazy, man, to think like, of all like the crazy heavy metal bands out there, like, Slayer, some like really get your blood pumping and everything. Yeah. That somebody would die at a Guns N' Roses concert.
Yeah. I mean, they were way more popular than they expected to be. Yeah. So like people just trying to push to get closer. And then that's kind of what happens sometimes.
You ever been to a couple of those big festivals before?
I've never been to a really big festival. No. Yeah, like during my like younger teenage years, like they weren't really any metal. There weren't any really music festivals in America.
Yeah.
Like, during the 90s, like other than like Lollapalooza, which was a touring festival, but wasn't general admission like that. There weren't any like, big music festivals until like Bonnaroo came around. Bonnaroo was the first big music festival that I could think of.
Well, Woodstock was a big
but that was like a one-time thing though. That was, in 1999, I guess.
Yeah, maybe around there. The revamped one. Yeah.
Yeah, and the original one was in 1969, but but like in the 80s and 90s, like maybe in the very early 80s, but like in the late 80s, like in the end of the 90s, there weren't really any any music festivals in America that I know of.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in the late 90s, or I guess late 90s, early 2000s, they started having more. Coachella came around and Bonnaroo. And now there's tons of them. But yeah, I haven't actually been to a big festival though. I don't know. I don't know how I would like it. I feel like it would be lots of people and it would be really hard to see anything.
Yeah, you're generally right about that. Like the ones I can remember going to in my youth as well was those Ozfest that they had.
But that's different though.
Yeah. Are you talking about those huge ones?
Yeah, that's different because that's in an amphitheater that has seats. Okay. That's just like going to any other concert. Yeah. But like, if you go to like Bonnaroo, you're basically just in a big field with like, 70,000 people, and you're just wherever you can get to. So, I don't know how well you'd be able to see at a festival like that.
Yeah. Well, they have those big screens nowadays. So I guess you would just have to watch.
Yeah, I don't know watch it on a screen. I can just watch it at home if I'm going to do that.
Exactly. It's all about.
Because they stream all of them on YouTube or whatever.
It's all about the atmosphere, man. All right.
I know.
Get trampled out there. It's crazy.
You had to get trampled.
So, but yeah, that's a pretty sad story. That's pretty crazy. You got to be safe out there when you're out the big publics like that. But I've heard some horror stories for some of those festivals before too. But everybody, I say let's get into it though. Let's get into who booked this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, we know the booker because we're going to be talking about him all month long.
Yeah.
Fulci himself over here booked Aenigma. All right. So let's see a couple notes about this film. Okay. So this was produced by Barrio Benjic, Walter Brandy, and Edipo I can't even say this last name. Spongolai. All right. And sure. I probably fucked up all the Italian names, but that's okay. All right. So it was directed. The screenplay was also by Fulci, and it was directed by Fulci as well too. Okay, and the story was by Fulci, and the story was also by Girolamo. All right. So let's see a couple things about it. So the story and screenplay of the film were. Well, I just said that. Okay. So like we said earlier, which was really obvious about this particular film, Fulci did acknowledge that the influence of Carrie when making this film, which is very, very obvious. Declaring it has one of the best films of recent years, and that was a sort of Carrie in which there are two characters. Okay.
Mm.
So we have Laura was cast as Eva in the film after Editro production companies contacted her. Okay.
Mm.
So that's the main girl who played Eva. I thought she did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
In this film. She was probably in more stuff, man. She was actually really good, and I thought she would have like a really good look to her. All right. So apparently, the Aenigma was shot on location in, how do you say this? Sarajevo. Sarajevo.
All right. Yeah, it's in Bosnia.
Some sources state that the film had location worked on in Massachusetts, but the lead actors insisted that everything was shot in Sarajevo. So apparently for the Italian film journal Nocturno, cinematographer Luigi stated that Fulci was a mastro, which means he was like great at everything. All right?
Yeah.
Mastro. All right? Who sometimes did things, you know what's crazy about Fulci, we'll talk about here in a second too. And I would like to do a lights out just on him as a person. Maybe, I wish we could do it this month, but I think we're kind of strapped for some time. But apparently he didn't like the praise of stuff. Like, he didn't think his films were all that great. He didn't like all his praises and stuff. He was a very modest kind of guy. All right?
Right.
And he was just like, it's like, they want to praise me. That's too much work and stuff. I mean, like, he seems like a pretty artistic kind of like down-to-earth guy. But, I would like to do some more research about him. But it seems like he didn't overthink like himself, I guess, on things. Like he took the influences and he made his movies the way he wanted to make them,
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that once he started making those horror films, like, he just kind of said, okay, this is what I'm going to make and this is what it's going to be about. And then, but once he made it, he never really thought about it again.
Yeah. And basically what they're saying right here on this journal is that Luigi stated that, Fulci was a master because he would sometimes do things at first that did not make sense at all. But until when they saw the finished result, they're like, oh shit, that was actually a good idea. And, Fulci would do things where, if he was working with a American cast, he would just like act out body language to everybody. Like, he would act out how he wanted it to be done by body language. And then they would do that. And then they would kind of like add in the dialogue with it.
All right, yeah, because I don't think Fulci spoke English at all.
No. So we have Ciceres further remembers that it was Fulci who came up with all the gimmicks and effects, and that he himself would have never thought of shooting a scene with the snails. So basically, that's what the effects guy
snails
saying.
were.
Snails
that
are
was
pretty
cool.
crazy. Yeah,
the snails were awesome.
Yeah. So let's see a couple other fun stuff about the film, because there's a couple fun little things over here. All right. It was all shot in November of 1986. All right. In the walls of the rooms of the Institute, there are posters of Rocky Balboa, as well as Maverick from Top Gun, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
So we got a couple shout outs. Some that's what you do when you make an Italian film. Like, you're like, what's the most American posters we can put in these girls' rooms to make sure we're in America?
Rocky and Tom Cruise.
So as I was saying, go ahead.
And I was gonna say, like, it's another situation. Like, I wonder why they do this. Like, so this is probably the first Italian movie we've done. Well, it's not the first though, because The Beyond was different. But that doesn't take place in New York City.
Yes, that's
first
true.
Of all, it's in Boston. It's in Boston, and The Beyond was in New Orleans.
New Orleans, yeah.
It's. I just think it's weird, right? Like, Boston College doesn't really have anything to do with the plot. They could be in any college dormitory anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, he's like, well, let's make this movie and have it set in Boston College. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that they were trying to appeal to an American audience, so they set it in America.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just think it's weird that they do that. But
I mean, the only thing I can think of, and I can't like speak for exactly what they do because I don't really know the answer myself, is maybe a lot of Italians like to watch like American stuff. Like, they think like America is like this like really foreign land, but all weird shit happens. So that's why it's easy to make horror movies over there. All right.
Right. And I'm sure that they do, especially during this time. Like American movies were super popular. American stuff was super popular in Europe. That's before we like ruined our reputation over there. Yeah. But like, you know, people back then like oh, let's go to America. You know, what's America like? You know, let's watch Tom Cruise and Top Gun. That's American.
Yeah, and then also too, you know, around this time, a lot of like foreign films and stuff, like it wasn't as easy to get as it is nowadays.
Oh, no.
So you can make like a foreign film, like something off like, you know, the BBC network or something like that, a British television network, and you can make it in Britain and it can be a success over here in America because it's easier for us to access, you know?
Right.
So, but I think maybe back in the day where they're making some of these Italian horror films, they wanted to set it maybe in the United States to be able to have a wider spectrum of, you know, like of producers to like buy their product.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't know that we've talked about this before, but like, all these Italian movies, even into the late 90s, were very hard to find.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember Anchor Bay started releasing a lot of them, you know, like the Argento movies and things like that, and the Fulci movies on VHS and then DVD. But you know, that was like 98, 99. Before that, you know, I was watching these on VHS bootlegs. You know, like I would go to a convention and then find the guy that had the horror movies. And then I would buy whatever I could afford. And then, you know, watch those until a few years later when they started coming out. But I'm pretty sure we couldn't see this movie until fairly recently in the United States. I think this is like in the last 10 years or so. I think is when this has been released here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were very hard to get.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, all throughout the 80s, 90s, and even some of the 2000s, you know, like Italian horror films were very hard to get unless they became on, you know, VHS and DVD. You know, of course, now in 2025, we have all this huge streaming network. I mean, you go on fucking Tubi and Shudder and shit, you could find like 1,000 Italian films you never got to see before. So it's pretty amazing how that's like easier now. Like it's so much easier to get content now off of all these platforms that we never be able to see. So some other.
I mean, we watched this for free on Tubi.
Yeah, free for Tubi. Had a couple commercials on there that had zero. I saw a Burger King commercial on this fucking thing. I was like, come on now.
Was it right in the middle of the snail scene?
Yeah, I was like near there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the film was originally shot in Italian and dubbed in English. Yeah, no shit. With some shots redone with the American actor speaking English. The release in the United States is this version, with some actors speaking English on camera. But the soundtrack is dubbed version is also in English. This has the odd result of some actors like Jared Martin speaking English on camera, but still dubbed also in English by another voice actor. Did you notice that? I noticed that kind of a little bit.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that's more common than you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of those Italian movies, especially, I think the same voice actors do a lot of those movies. You know what I mean? Like obviously the ones that speak English usually will redub their own. Like, you know, all the ones with John Saxon, it's John Saxon's voice.
Yeah.
But the Italian actors who don't speak English, I think the same like little pool of actors just did the dubbing for all of those.
Yeah.
Back then.
So it's saying on here that the film's plot is oddly similar to an episode of the TV series Smallville. All right. In the episode titled Spirit, a popular teen is comatose after a car accident and possesses everyone she comes in contact with. In this film, the comatose teen is unpopular and exacts her revenge on her tormentors while also possessing just one other person rather than several people. All right.
Right.
So, you know, it's, you know, the story, it makes sense. You know, basically, somebody got harmed in a very bad way, and through their revenge, they have now conquered the powers of possessing people to exact their revenge on people.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's a couple of facts about the movie. Like I said, this one to me wasn't Fulci's best work, But I did think the actual scenes that he shot and the color tone and the actors and actresses, I thought they were all on point.
Mm-hmm. It looks beautiful. I mean, his directing isn't fantastic.
Fantastic. I like the shots where you can see everything's raising up, so you can see her on the bed, and then the camera's raising up, going past like different rooms and stuff. They did that a couple times. Mm-hmm. I thought some of the special effects of the dead heads were kind of fun. On there. The snail part was pretty fascinating. And you know you could definitely, I would say, like, we've done a couple of these Italian films already on Retro Blood.
A couple.
And we talked about this many times before, but it's always something to bring up because it's very fascinating to me, is the color palette that the Italian films do. Like they're like the way that the film looks color-wise is very different than the way American films look. You know, it's a lot more brighter animated colors on a couple scenes. You know what I mean? Like they'll use different color tones in their films to kind of like bring out like more of like the story to it. While American, they kind of use like basically kind of like general lighting, I would say. But like, you know, if somebody's going into a hallway, if somebody's going into like a specific room, we'll have like more of a negative on green. We'll have more of a negative on the red. You know what I mean? Like it stands out a lot more than if you just watch an American film where they go into a normal hallway or room. It's just normal black lighting. Yeah.
Right. And that's a good way to describe it, because I've never really understood why they do it that way, other than it's just artistic looking.
Yeah.
But like they use like, you know, like you were saying, like unusually colored lighting for different scenes, which I think is like you said, is a hallmark of these Italian movies. Yeah. And I think that I love the way those movies look because of that.
Yeah.
You know, Inferno was a really good one that did a lot of that really cool lighting. Yeah.
You can find that on the Retro Blood archives. We did Inferno.
Yeah.
On there, brother.
Yeah, I was about to say we'll do this math by the episode 200, but I bet you of the 200 episodes we've done, I'm gonna guess that 20% of them, well, no, I'll say at least 10% of them are Italian.
I can see that. We have done a bunch of them on here. And I mean, we actually do have one almost every month.
Just about,
because they kind of like fit into the genre that we're doing at the time, or the subject matter.
Yeah, just about every month there's an Italian movie. Yeah, true.
But speaking of every month there might be an Italian movie, let's get into the first one of this month, of our huge August month, because we're doing 5 Fulci movies, and our very first one. Let's get into Aenigma.
Let's do it.
Anderson here. No, I can't. I can't leave the hospital right now.
I don't even know your name.
The name is Anderson. How could she be from Boston? She doesn't even know the names of the rivers that run through town.
There's something strange about that girl. She has a total recall of another person's memories.
Stop it! Eva, stop it!
So we start off Aenigma, okay, which actually means in the dictionary, a person or things that is mysterious, puzzling, or difficult to understand.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like this movie.
Like this movie a little bit. All right, so we're at the St. Mary's College in Boston, Massachusetts. That's where our film is primary all around, is just one school. We see a bunch of Boston girls' voices around there. And then we have this girl named Kim and this guy named Tom putting on makeup to, I thought was a mannequin at first, but it wasn't. It was a girl named Kathy to this song, Alison. Did you hear this song?
I did hear this song.
Putting on makeup.
But I wasn't familiar with the song at all.
I'm putting on makeup.
I assume it was written for this movie.
Putting on a dress, and I'm all happy going out, and just a nice little lovely music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is really weird, right? So like you're right. At first I thought it was a mannequin because she's like completely still, but no, it's they're dressing her up.
Yeah.
For her date.
Yes. All right. And this song was just hilarious to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, tonight your dreams are coming true. All right. So the Tom and Kim, all right, they dress up Kathy. They basically get to do her makeup, and they put her basically in a red dress, and because she's going on a fancy date. Okay. So then she gets out of this huge mansion, which is their school, and she is now in a vehicle with a character. We're going to find out that his name is Fred. All right. Fred is the yoga instructor, which we'll get to him pretty soon. All right. So they're in this car, right? And she's all like, I see that you stopped. I thought we were going to go dancing. And Fred's like, you really want to go dancing? You know what I mean? You don't want to.
Or do you want to do something else?
Baby, you don't want. Baby, this is written by Italian men. We know what you're waiting to do. All right? You're ready to get this lustrous man for you. All right. So then he like brings her close and then they start kissing, and then you never seen I don't know who the hell wrote this, man. Okay, because like, okay, listen.
Right.
We all been in a car. You know, if you're a dude, you all been in a car before, and you got the girl. You finally got her to kiss you, and she all likes it and stuff. I have never heard a girl spill her heart out like this fucking girl did. Oh, you're the best ever. I dreamed about this. I dreamed about your chin. Everything about you is great. Oh, what a hunk of man. Like, she's just going on and on. And I'd be like, damn, girl, can you be quiet? Can we kiss over here? You're just going to tell me how great I am. All right?
But he's also like the gym teacher, right?
Yeah. So she's dreamt about this moment forever. She's going crazy, bro. She's just unleashing all the emotions out. And while this is happening, everybody in the school is laughing because they're all in their cars and they all got it recorded. Okay. So I guess the main purpose, and we'll find out about this a little later, the main purpose of this was the character Kathy. She was obsessed with Fred, the yoga instructor. Okay. That she would not leave him alone. So Fred got Fred in cahoots with the rest of the school girls.
Yeah.
They decided
Yeah.
to trick Kathy, so Kathy would stop, obsessing over him. But plans don't go that great when you're in 1980s horror movies. Kathy realizes that she's getting pranked. She's all upset now because she just poured out all her emotions. She runs out of the vehicle. They start chasing her down in their vehicles, and then she eventually gets hit by a car, and now she's in the hospital.
Yep.
And which is very strange is nobody of these kids were charged at all. They just like,
Apparently not.
So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about this investigation on this particular part of her getting killed. Or getting run over.
I don't know that the cops. I don't know if the cops really looked into this much.
All right, so this is when we have, we're back, we're in the hospital now. Now we can see that Kathy is basically on a ventilator, and there's all these tubes on her head and everything. And this is when we meet the nurse, and then we're also meeting our main doctor, Rob, don't call me Bob, Anderson.
Right.
Don't call him Bob there, Alison. I know you've been wanting to.
No.
All right.
Nope. He is not Bob.
All right. She basically saying that she's not responding to anything, and they're basically saying that she's basically brain dead right now. Okay, and they don't not really sure what to do with her. Then we can hear Kathy's voice saying she doesn't want to die. She must not die. I can't die. I must not die. All right, and then this is when we get the first scenes of that camera that just goes like it's going up. Like, we're kind of like going like far away from it, going on up throughout the houses. No, through the hospital. And then we see a bunch of fake houses. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was amazing. You got to do what you got to do to get your movie made, right?
Brother,
sometimes you can't use a real house.
They're like, I guess Fulci was like, man, fella, I can't get my city scenes of Boston. Boston won't let me shoot their scenes, so I'm just going to get this toy house in this toy city.
Yeah. Yeah, because we didn't even go to Boston in reality, so
no, exactly.
we're use a model house.
You don't think you could have bought some Boston stock footage somewhere?
I'm sure you could have, but that's probably not as cheap as buying that toy house, though.
It's true. Besides, maybe you had it left over from a different movie. You know what I mean? Got to reuse that shit. So we're back at St. Mary's College. All the girls have now arrived. All right. Oh, sorry. The new girl arrives. My bad. This is when we meet Eva Gordon. All right. She's going to be our main girl of this review. Everybody's looking at her all weird. All right. So, she's in, they talk about her father, Gordon's father, being high up on society. All right. And his position. And then they talk about her recent breakdown that she had.
Yeah.
Which will come back later of something I want to ask you about, Alison. All right.
Okay.
So then we now see the blonde who helped kill Kathy, basically, and that was Kim. Kim is the trope. She was the one that was originally dressing up Kathy in the makeup. All right. And we see her, and she apparently gets in trouble because she is kind of like the rebel one out of all the college girls that gets them all to smoke. All right. And the teachers, the dorm teachers don't like that. So now Eva meets her roommate, Jenny Clark. Any relation to Superman?
Maybe.
Okay. I was just wondering. Even though he was Kent, but, Clark is still there.
Yes.
And then this one lady come in, and I was like, there's a crackhead in this film. And apparently the crackhead in the film is Kathy's mom, Mary. Who
is the janitor.
The janitor lady, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So now Jenny, meets Ava, and Ava's line is, I've come to the school to kiss as many boys as I can.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
That seems like one of those things that is a weird translation from Italian to English.
First of all, who wrote this? Did we have an Italian woman write this? No, brother. We have Italian men.
No.
All Italian women you'll find in these films always lust over Italian men all the time. Every movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I put my notes. We get that dude for the car earlier, which is Fred. What a name. Fred. He is a yoga instructor. And Alison, all I'm going to tell you is I think we have done the wrong career path.
We should have been yoga instructors.
Yeah, yoga.
Well, he's like an aerobics teacher or something, not a yoga instructor, I think. But anyway, yeah, we should have done that because that would have been all the chicks we would ever need.
All
apparently.
we need is a good.
They all love the aerobics guy.
All we need is a good tan, a good buzz cut, a nice little tight shirt. All right, and just be like, and just say a bunch of stuff like, "Hey, girls, don't be fat. You don't want to be fat, do you?" All right, check out this line, bro. Check out this line. So first of all, Fred makes the googly eyes with Ava. He's like, "Yeah, we got that new piece of meat in here, brother." All right, then he tells these girls, "All right, girls, keep pushing. You don't want to be fat, do you? You don't want to be fat when you're kissing on your boyfriends." And then Kim says, "Well, there has to be something in the way between me and my boyfriend, or else he'll come too easy."
Wow.
Just take my fucking money, bro. What? Yeah, I love it.
That's some.
That gets me pumped up, brother.
Right there. Yeah.
Where are these lines out on T-shirts? Come on now. All right, let's go. All right, so now Jenny talks to Ava saying, "Hey, do you got like a thing for older guys or something?" And she's like, and Ava says, this is another great line, you're like, Alison. She's like, "I'll take any guy in pants." Fuck, bro. What?
Wow. Anybody in pants.
I'm
no
like,
shorts, but pants.
God damn, where was I in 1988, brother? I'm gonna show up to this house. Hey, I'm here in pants, brother. I'm here. She look pretty good. All right. Even though that Rob, we'll get to him pretty soon. He was a little creepy. All right, so now Ava and the Fred, they flirt a little bit. All right, so Ava starts moaning. He goes over there. She's like, "Oh, I think I hurt my hamstring. Can you rub it?" And he rubs it, and then she gives an evil face because obviously she has. We can see already possession. She Kathy from her hospital chamber room. She's hooked up to Cerebro. All right. So
like in the X-Men?
Like an X-Men. So now she can take over Ava's mind.
Did you notice also in this movie that as the movie commences, she has more and more shit on her head?
Yeah, like green.
Like at this,
the green face and shit.
Like at this point in the movie, she just has like a few like things attached to her head and to her face, and she's like in a coma or whatever. But as the movie goes on, there's like more and more stuff all over her head.
Maybe when you're not a mutant and you log into Cerebro, maybe that's what happens. Like your face turns into the Hulk and shit.
Maybe, yeah, that was really weird, but yeah.
So now, after all this happens, Fred goes up to Kim, slaps her ass, all right? And Kim says, "I know I have a fat ass, but if you slap it again, I'm going to slap your face."
Wow.
I was like, you know what? I think I just got the wrong career.
You may have, yeah. Because,
you know what I mean?
You talk about things you can't do anymore. Like, that's something you can't do anymore.
All right. All right, so now, okay. So now after she rubs the leg, she's giving her evil eyes. We see that she, now Ava got invited to hang out with Fred at nighttime. Just the two of them. And Jenny's trying to warn him saying, "Hey, Fred has a bad reputation." Basically, that means he's like a man whore. All right?
Right.
And like he's abusive to women.
Yes.
But then Ava's like, "Well, don't worry about that. I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way." And I like it where she was saying, Jada asked like, "Well, how are you going to find his room?" It's like, "Well, he put a Hulk poster on his room. That's how I can find him." I was like,
"Right,
brother, that was not that was not in the Italian version. Don't lie to me here. We already know
because we don't actually see the Hulk poster, right?
No, they just talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like a poster of the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
I was like, really?
Because he's massive, brother. That's why. He's jacked. All right.
Yes.
So now she leaves. Fred now poses in his aerobics room. All right. And he's getting ready for sex. But then Mary's in there. And he tells this crackhead to get on out of here. I'm trying to have some sex in this room, girl. So get out of here. All right. She said you could finish this tomorrow, and she gets her out of there. And then he takes it. And he's like, hey, you forgot your bucket. I don't know why I laughed at that part.
That's great.
And then he takes the bucket, and then he moves it. And then now we can see that the Mary character has red eyes like Cyclops from the X-Men.
So she's getting her mutant powers, so she can take over people's minds and kill people.
Maybe we're reading this movie all wrong. Maybe it's a mutant origin story that we just didn't know about.
Maybe.
All right, so now Fred's waiting. All right, he's like posing a little bit, sees the bucket, says, oh, that's weird. Now he sees himself in the mirror. And I thought this scene was kind of cool. Because you could see the mirror Fred kind of like you can see the mirror kind of cracking a little bit. And he's like, you can see him pushing through it. And then real life Fred's like, oh, this is weird. And then mirror Fred breaks out and then starts choking himself.
Right.
All right. All right. And while this is happening, the nurse that's taking care of Kathy's freaks out a little bit because they can notice that there's some new wave activities of her vital signs are skyrocketing. And Robert comes in here and saying this is super weird because she's basically brain dead, but her vital signs are showing signs of her being in an intense anger. All right.
Right. Yeah. So, which because she makes sense because now she's like, But how does she? Okay. So she's seeing through Ava's eyes, right?
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Okay.
So,
but she's intensely angry because the people that tried to kill her never got.
Well, some of the stuff I don't think exactly was explained. I think we got to figure out on our own. But it was weird because it looked like Mary, her mom, was either possessed or had already had the powers already because of her evil red eyes. So I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Because Mary, she it was it was a factor in the movie, but not like a big factor. Okay. We'll get there when we get there. But it was hard to tell because obviously Kathy is overtaking Eva's brain. But how was she able to overtake the other people? She was able to do more than just one because she overtook Fred's brain to make him see things, and then she overtook a bunch of the other people that were involved in her murder to make them see things. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just part of her powers.
But was it her doing that or was it Mary doing that?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I'm assuming it was just like you said, it's never explained, but I'm assuming they just had this telepathic communication thing.
Yeah, with each other.
And then it was just never talked about in the movie. And then that's how her and Mary are like working together, kind of. So I think they're both.
Well, they were, but not really, because Mary's the one that pulled the plug at the end. So we'll get there.
Oh, well, true. That's true.
So now he's done killing himself, and he leaves. So now Eva says that now we see Eva back in the school, and she said basically Fred stood her up, and she's all upset about it. Okay. And then Jenny didn't expect all that stuff to happen anyway, then Kim chimes in, and they're all like, oh, you all talk about Fred and stuff. So then they all go to the dorm room and start passing around a joint. Okay. So this is when we get some story progression about what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So Eva says that she heard noises from the room, but he never picked up. He wouldn't answer. All right. One of the girls looking for a lighter. Eva takes a lighter out of the drawer and gives it to her. Kim asks, how did you know there was a lighter in there? Ava's like, well, don't all y'all have lighters in your drawers? She's like, no. She's like, well, why do? I just guessed it. Oh, who did this bed belong to? Oh, it belonged to Kathy. And then they start going on about how creepy Kathy was. They never liked Kathy because her mom was the janitor. All right. And the mom was creepy as shit. They thought Kathy was a loser. They thought she smelled of snail breath and garlic. One of them thought she might have been a vampire. All right. And then they go on about how they just couldn't stand her and Kim didn't like her as a roommate. Okay. And then they question a little bit about where Ava, where she's coming from. All right. So now we hear a knock at the window. It's Tom. He wants his pussy for the night. So all the girls have to leave. All right. And then Ava asks Virginia, one of the girls, saying, hey, what's going on with this place? Some place could be kind of weird. She's like, well, every Friday, all the people from the Mary's place, they all get together, and I always hear strange noises from them. All right.
Right.
Which, never was explained either. I guess they were assuming that it was a cult in here, but there really wasn't. All right. They also talked about Kathy's accident as well, too. Okay. Let's see. So they start hearing some noises, and this is when the cop takes pictures of the dead Fred. Apparently one of the inspectors was Fulci himself.
Yep.
He likes to make
Like
appearances. Yeah.
He does. He's like Alfred Hitchcock. He's in a lot of his movies. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah. And then one of the detectives saying, oh, this is the way of all these macho guys. And they never know what is too much or not. And the cop's like, okay, well, what is it? What did he die of? Oh, he died of a heart attack. All right, so that's how he died. So he wasn't choked out. It was known that he died of a heart attack. Interesting.
Yes.
So now all the girls, they discuss Fred's death because they all figured it out. They all start crying. They all tell the girl that he had a heart attack to the teacher. And now Ava, she's looking a little sinister around here too. So now all the girls are talking again. And I believe it was Virginia, all right, who said she blames Kathy for Fred's death because she thinks that Fred died of a heart attack for guilt over harming Kathy. And Virginia doesn't know why Kathy's still alive and Fred's dead. It's like,
right.
Damn, cold ass bitch. I was like, damn. All right. So they're saying all this stuff now. They're just talking all types of trash about Kathy. And then we can hear that Mary is listening on the other room. Okay. So now we get a scene of Kathy. She's walking through the school. She goes to her dorm room and she sees a bunch of snails on the bed. She freaks out. She freaks out on Mary saying, you put all those fucking snails there, didn't you? All right. Oh, because I forgot to mention this, but while they're at lunch, Mary served them all like snails, oysters, I guess. Yes. And none of the girls wanted to eat those oysters except for Ava because she said she lived in New Orleans before.
Yeah, no, there were snails. Yeah, right.
Yeah, snails. Yeah, I guess they put. I never had this meal before. Apparently, it's snails and garlic. You can eat that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had it either, but yeah, in a lot of places, that's a really good meal to have. Yeah. So yeah,
and
but not for these girls.
Well, except for Ava, she said she lived in New Orleans, and that's why she was used to eating this. And then they cut to another scene of them outside where Ava was saying, "Hey, I love being from Boston. I'm so glad I was from Boston." And then Kim's like, "I thought you said you were from New Orleans," and Ava's like, "No, I'm from Boston. My grandma was from New Orleans and stuff, and I used to go visit out there. But I was from Boston." So she keeps getting caught in like these little lies, basically.
Right.
All right. And then this is when we have Virginia go to her bedroom and see the snails all over her bed. She freaks out on Mary. All right. The teacher comes in there. They look at the bed. There's no snails there.
Right.
All right. Then we see Virginia now. She's sleeping. And now we get our huge snail death scene. What did you think about this scene there, Alison? These snail deaths.
I loved it. I love the snails. Good. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
And that was all Fulci's idea, too, for the snails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like, though, that the Rocky poster, when we saw it did have one snail on it. All right. So now we have all the snails over her body. At first, she's asleep with them all on. Then she wakes up. She can't move. All the snails are just like, can you actually get killed by snails?
Very slowly. Very slowly.
Interesting. So she's like stuck there, and she's basically getting like mauled and destroyed by snails. One of them goes in her mouth, goes all over her face. But we did not get any snails in the eyeball, which I was upset about. We didn't get no eyeball damage in this.
No eyeball damage in this movie at all. So it's the second one we've had with no eyeball pokage.
I do like in my notes where I put, she wakes up, she sees the snails, and she freaks out to 80s guitar music.
Yes.
Do you ever freak out to 80s guitar music there, Alison?
A lot of times in my life, yes. Most of the times I've freaked out in my life, it's been to 80s guitar music, for sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So now, now after all the killing scene happens, it's the next morning, and Grace sees Eva by the door and asks what's the matter with her. All right. And then Grace goes in there, and now she can see the dead body of Virginia. All right. And then we're back at the brainwaves cerebral hospital room.
Yeah.
All right. And then we could see that the brainwaves are acting up again. Or like not the brainwaves, but the actual, like, you know, the vital sign waves are acting up again.
Right.
And then Robert's there. Don't call me Bob. All right. He's in there. He says 2 people are dead at the school with heart attacks. Very strange. And they're in these strange. Every time they died over here, like her in this room, the vital signs keep going up. He finds everything to be very strange. And I like this part, Alison. Robert, don't call me Bob, basically said to the nurse, "Why are you afraid of this girl? She's never going to get up. Her life was cut short. You shouldn't be afraid. Don't be afraid in here.
Right.
This ain't a horror movie."
No.
Come on.
Well, it is, but they don't know that.
All right. So now we have Jenny. She talks about the snail girl's death. And then now Ava freaks out on her and throws clothes at her to 80s guitar music, Alison.
More 80s guitar music. Love it.
So what you're telling me is every time we hear some 80s guitar, we got to do some violent stuff. I like it.
Something's going to happen, yeah.
All right.
Something's going to happen.
And then she eventually gets on bed and she starts like doing like this humping stuff. And then she's like basically had to freak out again. Right? So now that I guess the school calls up the only doctor in the whole of Boston, Dr. Roberts. He's saying, "I can't leave the hospital. Did you call this other doctor?" They're like, "Yeah, but he's not home." And he's like,
"We only have one doctor.
We only got one doctor here now." Well, they had 2, but the one wasn't home. Maybe he's on vacation.
Maybe.
All right. So now Dr.
All
Roberts.
of Boston.
Yeah, all of Boston. And now Dr. Roberts like, "Okay, well, what do you need me to do?" So he's going to come over there. All right. So now Robert Anderson is there. All right. He meets Ava, saying she had a nervous attack. Mary's on the background looking creepy. All right. The Dr. Robert touches her. He injects her with something. She gets up. Or actually, during this, we see that the Kathy cerebral herself is now laughing. And then right when Ava wakes up, she kisses the Robert, "Don't call me Bob" doctor.
Right.
And she thanks him for coming. All right. And then Robert's like, "I think you thanked me enough." And she's like, "I don't think I've thanked you enough. I had to thank you multiple times."
Right.
God damn.
How nice.
God damn. Where was I at during this school, brother? You know what I mean?
Not in Italy. Not in Italy, which is where you'd have to be for this to happen.
All right. So now the teacher, and I didn't expand this. This is one I want to ask you about, Alison. The teacher asks Ava, "Hey, was this the first time you ever freaked out?" And Ava's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Wait a minute. Didn't when she like showed up to the school, they said she got here because she had a nervous breakdown?"
Yeah, well, maybe she's just lying. I don't know, but yeah, that's why they say she's in the school.
Yeah,
is because she had like a mental breakdown. But then when they ask her about it, she's like, "Nope, that's never happened to me before."
Yeah.
So
we're starting to see the personality switchings. All right, so now we see Robert Anderson, "Don't call me Bob," goes to his nice red Corvette. I think it was a Corvette. I'm not sure what kind of car it was. He goes to his car. Ava shows up. She says hi. He says, "Did I surprise you?" He's like, "Yes." She says, "Do you find me attractive?" And doctor's trying to avoid it. It was like, you're my patient. I don't do stuff with patients and stuff. All right. And she's all like, well, at least can you take me for a ride? All right. And then he takes her to the ride, and she's like, don't avoid me. I know you find me attractive. And the next thing we know, Robert, he is smooching. All right. And then this is the scene where we see, she's like, what was your name again? He's like, Robert, don't call me Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking dude.
Love that.
All right. So now they're kissing and stuff, and like Ava's doing the same thing that the Kathy girl she was doing. Every time she kisses her Italian man, she lusts over him. Oh, we gotta do this tonight. Oh, you're the greatest. Oh, look at that shirt. Look at that chin. You're the fantastic guy. Oh my God. All right. So then, this is like what was Fulci doing over here? This is like a school drama shit. So now they're back at the school. He's gonna drop her off. Robert, don't call me Bob, is staring at Grace for some reason, and now Ava's getting jealous. She's like, "Oh, do you like her?" He's like, "Oh yeah, she looks attractive." Ha ha ha.
Sure.
She's like,
very funny.
Do you know what they called her last year? They called her the bitch of the classroom last year.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, how old is this fucking Robert guy? Why does he give a fuck who is the bitch of the classroom or not? He's in there to score young pussy, brother. That's what he's there for.
Wow.
So then he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I got the hottest girl in school here. I'm like, what am I watching, brother? Okay. So then Ava and Grace have a hard stare with each other. And you know, basically now that Grace is going to be the next victim. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we get Grace in this museum. She's walking around. She stares at a picture for a very long time by hearing creepy voices. Ava says, what are you doing? We're all up here. They all leave. They all get back to the school. They get out of the car. Grace notices that she's missing her earrings that her mom gave her for her 18th birthday. Ava says, oh, I saw you with one. Even though she had two of them on there when we saw her. Okay. And basically now Ava's lying to her, and she has the earring on her. And Grace needs to go back to the museum at nighttime because Ava says, well, the cleaning lady is going to go there and probably throw it away. But Grace needs to get it or else her mom would be pissed. Okay?
Right.
All right, so now they go back to the museum at nighttime. They are unable to turn on the lights because of they can't figure out the light switch thing, so they have to use flashlights. All right? Mm-hmm. Grace asks, are we going to trigger an alarm? Ava's like, no, that's only for the paintings. So we can walk here all fucking freely.
As long as we don't touch a painting, yes.
Yeah, don't be touching them paintings, brother. So now Ava's like, I'm going to go look upstairs. See you later. And Grace's like, wait, where are you going? And get back here. All right. So this is when we start hearing a bunch of voices. Grace's and stuff. And now Grace is looking at all these kind of like paintings and shadows. Okay. So she goes back upstairs. She stares at that same painting. And she's staring at it for so long that she could see part of the painting. I thought this scene was actually pretty cool too. Like she's staring at this painting, right? Very cool, like classy gothic music in the background. And we could see that part of the painting cuts the person's hand off and the hand falls right down and then blood starts to pour on Kathy while she screams. All right?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was a typical Fulci scene right there, I think.
Very Fulci,
yeah, with something decapitated and then the blood pouring on him.
Pouring on him, yeah. Why she's screaming? Ah. And then blood's off. She's fine now. And now she's walking to go find Ava. So she goes into this room that we actually kind of saw earlier. And the door closes. She's stuck in there. She's walking around. All these sheets fall off. We can see a bunch of dead skeletons everywhere. All right. So she starts freaking out a little bit. She runs away from the skeletons. She goes up to this really cool statue that's holding like a head. And then she turns to it, and now she can see Ava's dead head being held by the statue. And by this cool, like, gothic Castlevania music in the background. I was like, fuck yeah. Let's go, brother.
Yeah, that was awesome. This part was very good.
So after she freaks about that one, then she runs, and then we can see, like, the statue who was, like, big and bulky. Like this, if you're all watching me on video, he's like fucking bulky and shit. Just look at her. And she's all like you. Swole statue, dude. It must have been a statue of me on there. The Italian James on there, brother. Ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. And she's looking at it, and now the Kathy cerebral mind control girl is now laughing. All right. And the nurse is like looking at her all weird. She's like, "Why the fuck? What's going on over here?" Because the waves are starting doing their thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And now the nurse, through Kathy's eye, can see that the bulk James statue is now killing Grace.
Yeah.
All right.
And the special effect for this is basically a rubber mask of the statue face.
Yeah.
On a person. Yeah.
Really great.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
I liked it. So, then we get the next scene. And Robert's like, man, that girl's only 100 pounds. How was she able to have a statue fall on her? So they think that this Grace girl went to the museum, grabbed this statue, and had the statue fall on her. Like she physically took the statue
Pulled it over.
pulled it on her. Right?
Well, I mean, in their defense, they're trying to figure out how else this could have happened. But still.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention the snake, but there was a snake there too. But the snake didn't really do anything. It only scared her. All right. So now, Rob, don't call me Bomb. All right. She sees, she's seeing her strange wavelengths again. All right. And there's this guy, I guess he was like the front desk guy, comes in saying, hey, Rob, I think more people from that school want to see it. Like the front desk guy knows Rob's like fucking on all these girls. All right. And he's like, and then Rob is like so confused about the Kathy. And the front desk guy's asking like, hey, do you think she'll ever get up? And she's like, no, she'll never get better.
Never.
She'll never get better. All right. All right. So now we have a scene where all the teachers are questioning Ava. Because Ava was there with Grace that night that she went to the museum and everything. And they all know that because Jenny's the one that spilled the beans. But then Ava was really good about crying and being, upset. And she got off scot-free.
Right.
It's easy in Italian, brother. You could just be upset and stuff, be a hot chick. You can get off anything.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way of the world, right?
Yeah. Now Ava's pissed off. She goes to Jenny and calls her a bitch. And then she leaves. All right. So now one of the main teachers is talking to Robert, and she wants Robert to be Ava's personal doctor and come and visit her so she can help her through all this trauma that she's been doing and looking over her because she's been a little bit reckless lately. And then, the next thing we get fucking Ava and Robert making all out right in front of Jenny. And now Ava's so happy that Robert can come to the school freely. They don't have to hide their kissing and affairs. They could just do it right in the school, right in front of Jenny the whole time.
Exactly.
All right, so all right. So now, obviously they're just all kissing and everything. Now Rob wants to know a little bit more about Kathy. Rob's trying to do his job over here, basically. He's not only trying to get young pussy, he's trying to get some facts around her too. Okay? So he starts asking her about her background stuff. Asked her about the whole Boston and New Orleans thing. All right, asked her questions about meeting Jenny or meeting Kathy. All right, and she's like, well, I never met Kathy before. All right, I don't know anything about her. All right, and then now she starts kissing Rob again, and then Jenny comes in, and then Kathy's like, Ava's like, get the fuck out of here. All right. So now Robert is in the hospital again, and he cannot figure out this Ava girl because she's from Boston and she doesn't know any Boston lakes.
Right.
I mean,
she doesn't know any of the lakes.
I don't know any fucking Dallas lakes.
Well,
actually I do. Lake Louisville, I guess.
See, there you go. So, yeah, you got to know at least one.
Yeah, at least one. Okay, she doesn't know any. All right. So she doesn't know any lakes, and then she says and then Rob's like, it's weird. It's because she has like memories from a whole different person. I can't figure it out. And then we get, brother, I don't know what the hell is going on with this scene. We get a Italian red room sex scene.
Yeah.
Dude, now, you know, I may have fornicated a time or two.
Maybe.
I don't know if I've never done any Italian red room sex scenes, but I don't know if this is how you do it. It looks like her leg was just covering up its junk, and her ass was sticking out a little bit. But like they never like, you know, they never he never got the bob done. If you know what I'm talking about.
No, right, exactly.
So we find out that Ava is a scratcher and a biter.
Yes.
All right, but Rob is not into this. And I'm like, hey man, there's probably 1,000 people on the internet that is into this. Okay, because he's
right.
like, guys, she's biting his chest, he bits his lip off and everything, and then basically Rob, don't call me Bob, wakes up from his wet dream and looking all nervous now. All right.
Yep.
So now Rob is driving around in his car. All right, and he's going by the Mary School again. Rob gets there, and Jenny tells Robert that Ava's mom came and got her, and now she's been taken away from the school. The teacher tells Robert again, hey, yes, Ava has now been taken from the school. She was kind of a liability. She was freaking out on everybody. So the mom took her to a mental hospital. All right. So the doctor's like, well, who the fuck am I supposed to be fucking on now? All right. So Robert, upset for one day. Now we see a whole montage scene of him going out with Jenny now.
Right.
While Ava is pouring her love out to him on a note from the mental hospital.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Typical Italian doctor, right?
All right. So Rob, okay, now he's taking her out on the date. We see it the whole time she's missing her, blah, blah, blah. And then Ava's like, hey, you know, you won't break my spirit. I'm going to get out of here. All right. So now we have Rob's kissing on Jenny now. All right.
Right.
And then now it looks like the Kathy cerebral is now getting all kind of like souped up for some crazy shit. Because she eventually, Kathy takes over Ava's mind again. All right.
Yeah.
And now has Ava break out of the hospital. All right. And then all this is happening. Mary's walking around. All right. Mary's walking around in the school. She hears Kathy's voice. All right. Saying they tricked me. All right. They all tricked me and they all treated me bad because I was your daughter. All right. You're crazy, Mary. Ha ha ha. All right. So Mary now sees Ava with her red eyes. All right. And she says, you're back, my child. And then Ava sees that Kim and Tom are flirting outside. So now she has her next victims. All right. All right. So now Kim and Tom are upstairs kissing. All right. Rob is back with Kathy, and she has no change. Rob is now talking to Jenny, and they're talking about his room in this hospital. Jenna asked, have you ever had a patient or a hot nurse fuck you on this bed? And Rob's like, no. Well, she's like, well, I'm neither. And Rob's like, I know you're not. So they go on the bed and then they fall off. So now Kim and Tom got done fucking. And a line that I think you'll enjoy, Alison, all right?
Yeah.
Is Kim goes up to Tom in the bed saying, oh, you fell asleep? You were fine 30 seconds ago.
Oof.
I think she might have said 30. She might have said 30 minutes, but I was like, "Hey, no, our boy Tom ain't no marathon man."
All right, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
So then she basically gets the sheet. Now she can see that Tom's head's like exploded. Right. And that scene that I thought was pretty cool too. Now we can see Kim freak out, and in every room she goes into, it's always the same room where Tom was dead. All right.
Yeah.
So
over and
over again. So she eventually looks out the window of her room. She hears Kathy's voice. Kathy has now astro projected herself onto a Tom Cruise poster.
Yes.
And that freaks out Kim, and then Kim falls down. So we got Tom Cruise causing deaths over here, brother. What are we doing here?
Yes. So she like falls out. Well, that's not even the best part of the scene, but yeah, she's like going toward the window, and then she falls out because she sees Tom Cruise poster floating in the air. Kind of.
Well, Kathy was she was astral projecting.
Right, exactly.
How dare you, Allison? Have you ever astral projected on any Tom Cruise posters before?
Nope, obviously.
I do that all the time. All right? That's how you freak people out, brother.
Well, you know more about it than I do.
That'd be a great, like, Halloween, like, you're going through a haunted house. I don't know if anybody would ever get it. You're going through a haunted house, right? And then you open up a room, and you just see Tom Cruise poster, and then Kathy.
Yeah, you have to find that one person that's seen this movie.
They're the one, exactly. They're like, oh, shit. Like me, I'd be like, I'd freak out. Like, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, we could explain it to everybody else.
Yeah. So now Tom wakes up because he wasn't really dead because, mind control. He's looking for Kathy. He looks outside. He's like, oh, shit. Well, first he's all like, hey, somebody left the window open. It was cold. He sees Kim out there. He's like, oh, shit. And then I guess it's like a steel guard for the windows just comes crashing down on his head and it decapitates his head.
Yeah.
That's how hard this thing was.
I was about to say, the window cut this guy's head off. Like, that's pretty amazing. That's a very sharp window.
Hey, man, they don't play around in them Boston fucking girls' schools, brother. Okay?
Yeah, apparently not.
You ain't getting in here unless you're a doctor or a yoga instructor. All right? All right, so now we have... Jenny is worried. She's having guilt, basically, being in this room because she was one of the people who actually, put Kathy in here because of all the prank that she did on Kathy. All right?
Yeah. And
she basically says to Robert, hey, this is all our fault and stuff. And Robert, not being a really good doctor, saying, what? You're all the one that caused her to be in this mental crazy state? I can't be with you. You're an asshole. He's like, well, you know what? You're a young hot puss. I lost my other one. I'm going to keep you.
That's good enough.
So she's like, I could take you back home. All right. I know you did an accidental murder. But, I don't care. I'll take you back home. She's like, no, don't worry about it. I'll walk. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
All right. And then I like it where, I don't know if you noticed this, Allison, but I thought this was funny too. Like he has like a monitor that monitors Kathy in his room.
Right.
He turns it on and all you see is Kathy's face and a bunch of question marks. So it looks like our movie Aenigma had Edward Aenigma.
Ooh,
the Riddler on here.
The
brother.
Riddler. Yeah, that's a good callback. I like that. Yeah.
See, I notice these things, guys. That's why y'all listen to Retro Blood.
Exactly. Right. For your expertise.
So now Jenny, she's walking around. She goes back to the dorm. She's about to go in her room saying, I shouldn't have left him. I mean, he's an Italian man. I should have done my womanly duties and go back to him. All right? So
you can tell this was written by men.
So now Eva, she's there and she follows Kathy now. Yeah. Oh, sorry. She follows Jenny. So now Jenny goes back to the hospital. This is when we meet the front desk guy. She's like, what do you want? She's like, oh, I'm here to see Dr. Roberts. He's like, oh, yeah? I bet you're looking to see him. You're not the only one. All right? And she's like, I had an appointment with him. It's like, you know where. And he's like, okay. He points, you know where that room is. That doctor guy was pretty funny. All right. So now we have the scene of Jenny walking all the way through the hospital. I guess she didn't know where the room was because she got lost. And this is when I was talking about earlier, where a lot of times in Italian films, they'll have the character walk around different parts of where they're at.
Right.
So this part's the hospital, and this is when we get the really cool greens. We get the cool purples sometimes. We get the cool reds. There's a lot more greens in this one, so it was really cool seeing her walk. I do appreciate the Italians. Like, it's very small stuff they do. But I do appreciate their suspense, having somebody walk through dark corners of, walking through what's suspense music and walking through with suspense, like color schemes. And I think they do that very well.
Yes.
All right, so now the front desk guy asked, basically Kathy eventually gets stuck into an elevator. They bring her up to the marble death room. All right, and then the elevator disappears. All right. Anderson gets a call from the front desk guy saying, oh, yeah, nobody's came up here. He's like, oh yeah, that Jenny girl was looking for you. Now he's all like, what the hell's going on? So now Jenny is now stuck in the room with Ava. Right? And Ava is saying, you have betrayed me. You took my man's love away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I can kill you in a multiple 1,000 different ways.
Right.
All right? But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to mess with your mind a little bit. So she goes up to her. And then you know how the 1,000,000 ways that Ava wanted to kill Jenny was? Alison, you know what that way was?
What?
With one of those little scalper knives. You know, the little
I know.
knives thing.
Yeah, she could have killed her in a million different ways, but using a scalpel is the best.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. What's more dangerous than that scalpel?
Nothing.
You know, we had Fred choke himself, had a heart attack. Mm-hmm. We had a snail attack from Virginia.
We had a scalpel attack.
Yeah. And then, well, we also had Kim being freaked out by Tom Cruise. And now we're having scalpel.
Yeah.
What more do you need, brother? Come on.
Nothing.
So all this is happening. The Kathy Cerebral is freaking out during the whole time. I guess she's using a lot more of her mind control powers. Okay.
Right.
So they're fighting stuff, and she's about to stab her until Rob is banging on the door, and then right when Ava was gonna stab Jenny, Rob gets in, puts his Italian man arm up, and it gets cut. All right. He doesn't feel pain. He's Italian.
Mm.
All right. They walk away. And then Ava is about to stab them all to death with a scalpel until Mary Evil Eyes Red pulls the plug on Kathy.
I really like this scene a lot, where she pulled the IV out of her arm, and it looked like it was actually stuck in her arm. That was really cool.
Yeah, and it pulls it out, and then it comes as a dripping on the floor, and then you can see Ava kind of like slowly just like pass out on the floor.
Right.
All right, and then we get a scene of Rob, don't call me Bob, and Jenny freaking out in the corner. Mm-hmm. And then they do a really cool shot where they start from Ava, and they go all the way up past the hospital. This is when we can see Kathy, full Hulk face at this time.
Yes.
All right. And then we can see past her, and it keeps going up and going up and going up. And it's going past the hospital. Then we get all the way into like these skies, and then we get the makeup song.
Yep. Again.
Put on your makeup. It's going to be a great day walking. So that.
And then,
it.
Yeah, that was it.
That's
so
it.
Kathy's spirit rises into the sky, and we hear the nice makeup song again, and that was it.
We see the Mary school photo.
Yeah.
Then we listen to our makeup song, and that's it. That is Aenigma.
That's it.
So
yeah. So what did you think? I mean, did you like this?
Listen, it wasn't really my style. All right. The whole like we've done girl revenge movies before. You know what I mean? Like we actually did review Carrie on Lights Out before.
Yeah.
And we did all those rip-offs of Carrie, basically. Those Prom Night. I think
Prom Night, yeah.
Prom Nights and stuff like that. In the realm of those, I thought the movie was fine. Like, I like the visuals of the movie. I like the acting in the movie, but the characters and stuff. Some of the lines are pretty funny. It's just the story. Like, I think the only confusing part was I couldn't really tell, like, the Mary. Like, I guess she didn't want her daughter to suffer anymore. That's why she took her off the mental support. But and I couldn't tell if, because every time somebody would die in a very, besides the scalping scene, every time somebody would die, Mary would be there. Mary was there when Fred died. Mary was there when Virginia died. And Mary was even there when Kim died with her red eyes. So I couldn't tell if it was Mary doing those killings to revenge her daughter, and the only person Kathy could absorb was Ava. Okay? And maybe Ava was going to go down the path of killing somebody, but maybe Mary, the mom, wanted to stop her from doing that. because she didn't want her daughter to be a murderer like she was.
Maybe. So I can't. I don't know. That's a good theory that I didn't think about.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, part of the movie, I thought that, okay, they're working together.
Yeah.
And, because they have this telepathic link. But then I thought that maybe Kathy's just taking over her mom's body.
Yeah.
And then when her mom figures it out, she's like, oh, I got to stop this. So I'm not sure. But, I thought the movie was pretty good. Would I watch it again? Maybe. Would I watch it all the time? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie's better if I don't try to compare it with Fulci's earlier movies.
Yeah, I would say that too, yeah.
Yeah, because he definitely was kind of near the end of his career. I think he only made like 3 more horror movies after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's pretty good but not compared to like his earlier movies.
It's really, yeah.
I would say.
But everybody, that's been Aenigma. Very interesting tale of revenge over here. But join us next week because we have a huge episode next week.
Milestone. Yeah.
We are doing Retro Blood 200. The 200th episode of the Retro Blood on here. Can't wait to celebrate it with you all. We're keeping the Fulci train going for this whole month. Yeah. And we're talking about one that I cannot wait to see. We are talking about one Conquest. Yeah.
I'm not going to say you're going to like this. I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
It looks like one of those like 80s He-Man style movies or whatever. Everybody's all jacked and ripped and stuff. I know it's like a sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi horror film, right? Sci-fi fantasy horror film.
It's more like a fantasy movie. Yeah, it's like a Conan type movie, I would say.
So it should be very interesting. And then on that episode too, we will give you the rest of the rundown for the rest of this month of Fulci movies. But yeah, I think it's starting out good. I'm very excited about this month. Fulci's been one of our favorite directors. That every time we get him on here, we do like his work and stuff. And I thought some of our best episodes was the Hellfire, one of the Hellfire months we did of the whole Gates of Hell trilogies.
Yeah.
So those ones were really fun. We did his New York Ripper movie. Of course, we did the zombie movies he did, Manhattan Baby, you name it. We're getting that train going, brother. We might do all of his movies by the time we're done.
I'm sure we will.
Even though he has more in the 80s than just the 5 we're doing here. So we have to add some more in later on. So
for sure.
But Alison, for all of our podcast listeners, what kind of Guns N' Roses songs should we play for them to get on out of here?
We're gonna play Guns N' Roses. Let's play It's So Easy.
It's so easy, brother, because it'd be so easy. You know what I mean?
So easy.
Get the cerebro on you. Take over some random girl named Ava from Boston's memory for some reason, just so you can enact your revenge.
Yeah, and when you're an Italian man, it's so easy to get whatever girl you want.
Bro. If you're an Italian man,
if you work at a school,
if you're a yoga teacher or a Italian yoga teacher or Italian doctor, you might as well just get a fucking pass of getting whatever pussy you want. All right, it's so easy, brother.
Absolutely, it's so easy. Let's hit it.
James Kline, J.H. Alison. We'll see you here next week for the 200th episode of the Retro Blood Conquest.
It's gonna be a big one. See you guys.